All right, today we're going to dive into one of the most famous, most persistent myths out there. This idea that we all have this incredible, untapped potential just locked away in our heads. I mean, you've heard this one, right? It's everywhere, in movies, on TV. This amazing concept that 90% of our brain is just sitting there waiting for us to flip a switch and become a genius. But is any of that actually true? Let's find out. Okay, so let's just get this out of the way right up front. The whole 10% idea, it's a fantastic story, a really compelling piece of fiction, but it's not science. Not even close.
So this is the big claim, and you can totally see why it's so popular. I mean, who wouldn't want to believe they have a secret superpower just waiting to be discovered? This myth has been kicking around for more than 100 years, and people even try to attach it to big names like Albert Einstein to make it sound legit. It's a great plot for a sci-fi movie for sure, but what happens when we look at the actual science?
So, how can we be so confident it's a myth? Well, for the first time in human history, we don't have to guess anymore. We have these incredible technologies that let us literally look inside a living brain and see exactly what's happening in real time. And what they show us? Well, it's fascinating. Let's start with what your brain is up to when you're, doing nothing, just chilling on the couch, maybe zoning out. You might think your brain has basically shut down. But these brain scans, which track things like blood flow and energy use, they tell a completely different story.
That's right, your brain never really punches out for the day. Even when you're in the deepest sleep, it's humming with activity. It's busy organizing your memories, it's making sure you keep breathing, that your heart keeps beating. There are no huge, dark, unused sections. The lights are always on somewhere.
So what happens when we do something? Let's take something simple, like just listening to music. The second the music starts, scans show multiple areas of your brain just lighting up. Your auditory cortex is processing the sounds, but then other parts connected to your emotions and memories start firing up too. It's this beautiful coordinated dance. And it's the same thing with talking. To have a simple conversation, your brain is performing this incredible ballet. You've got Broca's area helping you actually form the words, Wernicke's area helping you understand what's being said, and all the while your motor cortex is controlling all these tiny muscles in your tongue and your jaw. Just to chat with a friend takes a ton of brain power. So here's the key takeaway from all this. We use pretty much our entire brain, we just don't use every single part all at the exact same time. Think of it like an orchestra. During a big symphony, not every single instrument is playing at every single moment. But over the course of the whole piece, every single musician is crucial. Okay, so the brain imaging evidence alone is pretty much a slam dunk. But there's another really powerful argument against the 10% myth, and it comes down to just simple biology. It's a bit of an evolutionary puzzle. Check out this number. Your brain only makes up about 2% of your body weight, right? But it is an absolute energy hog. It burns through about 20% of all the oxygen and calories you take in. It is by far the most expensive organ you have. And that leads to the real killer question for the 10% myth. Why on earth would evolution allow us to develop such a costly, high-maintenance organ just to have 90% of it sit around doing nothing? From a survival standpoint, that makes absolutely zero sense. It would be a huge waste of resources. Yeah, that idea just flies in the face of natural selection. Evolution is all about efficiency. If a trait helps you survive, it gets passed on. If it's just a drain on your energy, it gets phased out over time. A brain that was 90% useless would have been a massive disadvantage. Nature just doesn't work that way. So when you put the brain scans and the evolutionary logic together, the story isn't about some untapped psychic potential. The story we get is actually way more impressive and elegant. It's the truth about our 100% brain. So let's just lay it out side by side. The myth promises this vast dormant power. The reality? It's a fully utilized, incredibly efficient organ where every single part has a job to do. We use all of it, just not all at once. It's not about how much you use. It's about this perfect orchestration. And this leaves us with a much more powerful and interesting idea to think about. The real goal isn't to find some magic key to unlock a mythical 90%. The real adventure, the true frontier, is figuring out how to better use the amazing, complex, 100% brain we already have. How do we make it healthier, sharper, more creative? That's the question that's really worth exploring.